Yo.
What's up? We ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Let me turn the music down.
Sure, you can go ahead. You can leave it going, however you want to do it. But greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of To the Top Talk, the original and longest running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this on Pilo
January the 4th
from beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Here, as always, with your break from the High Resource 5 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, Jason Bailey. Joining me now, obviously, the one and only Patrick Lowry.
Hey.
What's up, man?
How about that triple double? That was that's a real deal.
Yeah, triple double. It's hard to believe, but
hard to believe.
It's the first one since 1980.
And only the second one ever in school history, too.
Isn't that
That's
weird?
what's even crazy. I'm like, all these players.
In the NBA, it seems like they have them every night.
Right.
They probably do. Mess around and get a triple double.
No doubt.
But it's obvious that Andre Curbelo is becoming the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. It's really fun to watch him play, and he's keeping his cool out there too. That was one of my major concerns. Looking up at the other schools that he's been to and summer league games, and he gets lots of technicals. Well, he even got one before he started playing this year, right? And came and sat with us in Section G for a while.
Right.
So, but he's keeping his composure. He's super fun to watch. He kind of looks like a cartoon character sometimes.
Yeah. A little animated, but
and I don't mean that in
a
bad way at all. Like he's must-watch TV, and I'm sure glad that he's playing for us.
I mean, you can't not watch him, even if he doesn't have the ball, or especially after the play is over. And I don't know how much you see watching it on the stream, but in Reed Green, you never know what he's going to do with the ref, with somebody in the crowd. He's just like you said, it's must-watch TV and so entertaining.
So Curbelo obviously had a big night. He's developing a rapport, I think, also with Kobe Montgomery.
Yep. Oh yeah, for
it
sure.
Seems that they kind of both came off the bench a couple of times together, and were just instant offense.
Yeah.
And talking about Kobe, he's picking it up defensively as well. I remember a loose ball after a free throw, maybe it was just a regular shot. Where the ball went sky high, and he out jumped everybody for the ball.
Yeah.
And, I think that's kind of what kept Kobe off the court for a little while towards the beginning of the season. That even though we knew that he was instant offense and one of the best shooters on the team, defensively, I think they needed to see a little bit more. If he starts doing stuff like that, then, we'll be able to see a lot more of that.
Right.
And that's not to take away from the night that Austin Crowley had. It's when you see a line like I'm looking at right now with Crowley, 10 of 16 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3-point range, only 2 of 5 from the line, but still getting to the line. 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 25-point night. I mean, that's the kind of night that we got spoiled last year, frankly, watching Crow.
Yep.
And he's had a couple games this year where he looked like he has started to find his shot again. This was one of those nights where he looked the part. He took the big shots, and he made a lot of the big shots and a lot of contested shots, and a lot of him just making his own shot. Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what big time players do in big time games. And for us, this was a big time game coming on the heels of an opening loss to a winless Georgia Southern team. This was kind of a game that I think that it's hard to say must win. I think the Sun Belt's going to be heavily contested, and the in particular our side. You might have 4 or 5 losses.
Sure.
There's a lot of very close teams.
And one thing I want to say before we get too deep, if I know people are still joining in, if you have a question or a live reaction, or want us to say something or give a shout out or something you liked or something you didn't like, make sure you comment on whatever platform you're on. You should be on X, Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, and all of those should be good for comments. So let us know. We want to hear from you. This is interactive, and Don't forget that.
And I would also like to remind everybody that we are getting a new sponsor soon.
Yes,
but
we
in the
are.
meantime, this episode was brought to you by To the Top Talk and Katie Case Bailey Real Estate.
Hey,
Call my wife. Hey, as long as we got an open slot,
pump it
Katie's getting that one. You can call her at 601-408-9980. That's right. I just gave my wife's phone number out
to the masses.
Into the world, I guess. So back to this game, P. It was fun. And just to be fully honest here, we're trying the whole dry January thing.
Yeah,
which is good.
How's that going?
Well, it's kind of, it's off to a rocky start, but but it was just, I'm sipping on some water here. We decided we would just give it a whirl. I think it's a good thing that we did because beer prices have went up at Reed Green. I love the place and I love going, and it's one of my favorite places to go to have fun. At the same time, beers are now $10 and $12. So if I get a couple, Katie gets a couple, Jack gets some nachos and like a little fruity drink, it's a $75 night for this guy.
Yeah.
Can't do that 15, 20 times a year. So anyway, but let's talk real quick about just I want your overall thoughts. I mean, you're sitting with me, so I feel like we saw it through the same lens. But the energy, the students aren't there, the band wasn't there, but it has been a minute or two. When's the last time we played a home game? Like a month ago?
It feels like an eternity. It feels like the season just started. Honestly, looking around, I think we had more people, and not knocking the crowd, but I guess this is knocking the crowd. But I felt like we had more people at the exhibition game than we did tonight. And I get it, people are getting back in the swing of the things. But obviously, I mean, we've lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row,
Mm-hmm.
2 in a row.
Well, you lose 2 in a row. The women have lost 5 in a row. There's been a lot of losing.
Right.
And people have been on vacation and they're like, you know what? I saw Southern Miss fans roll. I was listening to the post game of the Georgia's Southern game.
Yeah.
And Ladner talked about it. He was like, look, we're going to be home. He's like, he mentioned that they were weary. And we were on the road for quite a while.
Yeah.
And there is something to that. We take a lot of bus rides. I don't know about you, but if I get on a bus and I go 3 or 4 hours, I don't jump out of the bus, running 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Feeling great. So not to try to make an excuse, but it's better when you play at home. Another good thing about tonight, I think, was that with a few minutes left to go in the game, they had cut it to maybe 6 points.
Yeah. 2 possessions. Yep.
And, we have not fared very well in those types of games in the past. I think you and I have been in Reed Green Coliseum where we choked that one right away. And coming on the heels of 2 losses and, not really a Reed Green crowd that can kind of get you over the hump, it was nice to see the guys do it themselves.
Yeah.
So that was a very good thing. But anyway, I stepped all over your answer there. You're sitting in the stands. What do you think about tonight?
So, I mean, it felt good to be back in Reed Green. A little fuzzies with our good friend Harry Goff before the game. And so it just felt good to just go do that, go to the game, be at home, not have to watch it on TV. So, I mean, I love the hot start. Obviously, we came out, scored 4 points really quickly. And I think there's a group out there on the court that I want to see. Like, obviously, Curbelo needs to be there. Like, we're getting some comments from Mick Nullins. Curbelo is really him. I agree. I like him out there, and like you said earlier, him and Kobe had something tonight. They really seemed to be feeding off of each other. I mean, Curley had what, 25, 23, 24, I don't know. 25.
Yep.
And it was the quietest 25 I think he's had. I mean, he hit those early threes. I don't think he was missing early at all. Then kind of cooled down toward the end, but I don't know. I mean, it was a lot of guys in there. Well, we had Hart with 10, Awaku with 10, Curbelo with 13, Curley had 25, Di had 8. So, like, I mean, you're 2 points away from 5 guys there having, double digits. So
yeah, Donovan Ivory is another guy that we could tell he's still nursing the hammy a little bit, right?
Yep.
But he was still giving it his all out there. He was obviously a little bit slower than normal, but wanted to be in there and gave us 23 good minutes. So we're gonna have a lot more of that. Total of 11 of 18 from the free throw line. Probably need to clean that up just a little bit. The stats have finally loaded on the Southern Miss side. If you want to click onto that.
Yeah.
Points in the paint, 44 points for Southern Miss. And whereas Georgia State, okay, they had 42 points in the paint. So really, it was a game of points in the paint.
Yeah, 42-44. Yeah.
So get us caught up on some comments.
Yeah, so we've had a couple questions. This is a good question from Todd Brooks over on Facebook. He was saying, can this team get to 20 plus wins? So tonight's win puts us at 8-7. So you're looking for 12 more wins. Let's just call it 13 more wins. Great question.
13 wins. Well, I tell you one
I'd
way
love to answer that after Saturday's game.
I tell you one way that it has to happen is keeping teams out of the 80s scoring wise, right? Up until this point, we have given up 80 points or more to a team, I think 4 times this year. Is that right? And that's not really our calling card.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about this earlier. What is our calling card?
Yeah.
And I'm not positive what it is.
Yeah, Todd. So there's 16 games left. So we have to win 12 of 16 to get to 20.
Well, I guess that's possible.
It's a tough road. It is. But
especially
South Alabama twice, Louisiana Lafayette twice.
James
Troy
Madison
twice.
being a huge one this weekend.
James Madison.
They finished off Louisiana Lafayette tonight, so I believe they're ranked 18th right now. So you think if they were to beat us, they're going to be a top 15 team in the country. Boy, it sure would be nice if we could get a packed house in Reed Green. I mean, if not even packed, just 5,500, 6,000. Where's the band? I know students aren't on campus, but this is a really big deal.
Yeah.
It's the chance to go 2-1 in the conference, to knock off the top dog, and to, I guess we've kind of already avenged that horrible loss that we had to Georgia Southern a little bit with tonight, but it sure would be nice to come back to Reed Green and go and, win your first 2 conference games of the season, and one of them being a team that's ranked at worst in the top 20, probably in the top 15.
Yeah.
So can we get to 20? I mean, boy, if we do, that's a really magical number. If we get to 20 at this point, that's going to mean we're at the top of the league.
Yeah.
Whether we win this weekend or not. It's also we're going to have to find a way to win on the road.
Yeah. Yep.
I know this team is still coming together. I know we still have a lot of good players, but the calling card thing that you and I were talking about, I don't know. You watch the Marshall teams of the past with Coach D'Antoni, and they shoot a lot of threes. That's their calling. When somebody says, what do you think about Marshall? Well, they shoot a lot of threes. If they hit them, they're tough. The Eustachy teams of the past were, they wanted to be tough, and they wanted to make more free throws than the other teams attempted. And some of the Tyndall teams in the past, played that matchup zone and got a lot of baskets in transition off of turnovers. I don't really know what this team's kind of. I don't want to say average, but we don't do a lot of things. We don't do anything exceptional. We don't shoot exceptionally well. We look really good. We're super long. I think we have I guess maybe our calling card might be just our sheer athleticism.
Yeah.
That was put on display tonight by all the guys we've talked about so far, by Curbelo, the acrobatics that he has, the way he sees the floor. But we don't run like Georgia State did tonight. I don't know if we have that ability to run like that. And I tell you another thing, we don't win that game tonight without Victor Iwaku.
Yeah,
when he came out, they made a run.
Special.
When he got back in, he stopped the run.
Yep, literally had a block at the top of the backboard tonight. The rebounds were off the charts. He was jumping out of the gym. Such a huge advantage when he's in. I mean, Yeah, he's one of the guys. I mean, again, I was talking earlier about like people that you want on the court at all times. Like he is one of those guys for me that like I want out there as much as we can get. Getting a lot of comments popping in. Jeremy Burke was there a half court shot for tonight? Yep. Did I miss it? Okay,
it was a good shot. It was right at it. It was a little bit short.
No, I completely missed it. So Jeremy Burke had commented, said he watched the game down from Bay St. Louis and was curious if they made the shot. So no, I must have missed it. I think
so. That will be $1,000 shot next game, right?
Yep, Saturday.
It just keeps going up by 500.
And let's see, replying back to Todd was saying, tough road ahead. Is the conference tougher this year? So looking at the standings right now, like we said, obviously James Madison this weekend coming in 15-0, App State's 11-3, Troy's 8-6, and then it's a lot of, Marshall 7-8, we're 8-7, South Alabama's 8-7. I think they lost tonight in overtime. It's a weird mix. Like Arkansas State's below 500, Coastal, Georgia Southern, obviously. Louisiana's sitting at 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, to answer the question, I don't think anybody's going to run away with it. No. I mean, is it a tougher conference? I mean, relative to what? I guess is what I would ask for Todd. I mean, it's going to be tougher to win, I think. Mm-hmm. I think last year we were clearly better than a lot of teams and just kind of faltered there at the end, ran out of gas.
Yeah.
So is the conference tougher, like as a whole, like compared to other conferences? I'm not positive. Yeah. But I do know that ours is very closely matched. But you had a team that was 0-12, just house us by 21 points, right?
Yep.
And then Lafayette gave James Madison everything they wanted. So it's tough to win in this league. It's tough to win on the road in particular. So it's a good thing we're getting a crack at James Madison here. I do wish that we had that atmosphere like we had for the Louisiana Lafayette game last year.
Yep.
Or anything close to it, because that's the crowd is definitely one of the reasons that we won that game.
Oh, 100%.
It's not going to be like that Saturday. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's good to hear from Deshaun. I agree. I worked in that role. I knew the long hours we put in. I can't speak to what they're doing now, but yeah, they really need to pump as much as they can. I don't care if they sell tickets for $5. Like, get people in the door, as many as we can. It's unfortunate about students, like we said earlier, and the band. And I don't know. Is this a DJ Cujo night, day, whatever? Will he be there? Oh, okay.
Well, he's not going to be there until students. Look, if the students weren't there today, the students aren't going to be there Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, but without a band, he would be a good, mix.
Yeah.
So, and Jeremy,
I saw Deshaun there tonight, and I see his comment now. Yeah, packed Reed Green would give us a huge advantage, Deshaun.
Yeah, Deshaun. Like, I know you're at every game, and like I just happened to be looking where we sit diagonal, and I saw you across in the gold hoodie tonight. So shout out. Deshaun, I was like, I know he sits over there somewhere because I've seen some pictures you posted before, but I've never seen you. So we'll have to.
We need about 5,000 Deshaun's at the game on Saturday.
We do.
If we have 5,000 Deshaun's, then I think we win that game Saturday.
Agreed.
So if we don't win, I'm clearly blaming Deshaun.
Jeremy, I agree.
Jeremy Berg, yeah, USM would have 10 wins right now if Andre Curbelo started the season. So we fumbled through this while we were sitting in the stands. If we would have played him day one, just gave the bird to the NCAA from the word, was that possible?
I don't think so. I feel
so
like
we had to sit to wait on the waiver.
Yeah, because I think if he would have played in any of those games, technically he was ineligible, so we would have had to forfeit those games. But now it just seems ridiculous.
Okay.
I think my little understanding of NCAA compliance, but I think that's the reason why we couldn't.
And I see a comment from Nate Williamson.
Yeah,
leaving from break early to come down and watch the game Saturday. Let's pack it out. Leaving from break. I'm guessing Nate is a student.
Yep, he's got the Superback shirt on in this picture there, so that's awesome.
I've met Nate.
Yeah, so welcome back.
Hung out with Nate for the spring game. Right, Nate?
There we go.
Nate and I hung out in the East bleachers for the spring game. And if I'm thinking about the wrong dude, then it was some other guy. I had a
Name
Superback
name.
shirt on. Speaking of the Superback shirts or any kind of shirt, I saw a few more guys wearing the G-Spot shirt tonight.
Yep.
Mr. Danny that sits next to us in row 5 over there in G had his G-Spot shirt on. So shout out to Mr. Danny. I'm not positive how long Danny has had season tickets or has been going to Reed Green watching games, but I'm guessing
Probably
it's around
been a
40
while.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing my man with the G-Spot shirt on was pretty impressive.
It was awesome. Definitely made my night.
Good to see him as well.
There's your confirmation. Nate said yes. So
yep, that's my guy.
There we go.
So as far as what I thought and what Pilo thought, and I guess what maybe if you're watching this, you'd like to give a reaction to, what are your thoughts on how the lineup looks out there? Do you think that Kobe should be getting a few more minutes? Because we're still trying to figure this thing out, right? Ladner's still trying to shuffle the pieces. The good thing is that we have a lot of pieces to shuffle.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, I guess I'd like to hear everyone else's thoughts. I mean, Curbelo is going to get more and more minutes as he goes along. He cramped up a little bit tonight, still getting his legs up under him, still figuring out how this team works. We mentioned the camaraderie that he seems to have with Kobe. And it's nice when you can take attention away from Crowley.
Yes. That's when he excels.
Yes, I agree. So maybe that might be the key to the rest of the season, I guess, number one, staying healthy.
Yeah.
Number two, Curbelo continuing to get his legs up under him and get back in game shape.
It's one of those, like, in the last couple of games, it's been like Victor Hart has been the guy. And tonight he wasn't the guy. I mean, but looking at his line, like, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, he was 4 of 6 from the field, had 10 points, 6 rebounds. It's just, I think that just speaks to this team. Like you said, it's not like dependent upon one guy. If one guy doesn't do it, then we're screwed. It's a good mix of talent. And then I don't know if you listened to Curbelo on the ride home back on the post game, but man, I was impressed by his interview with John and how he talked about when he came in, he didn't want the team to adjust to him. He was the one making the adjustments to how we play and like how he's still kind of getting his legs under him, like you said, and kind of figuring out the chemistry and stuff like that with the team. I think it's only going to get better as he goes. But one thing I was really impressed with I picked up tonight was his defense as he's in the front court, and he's always, it's almost like he uses his peripheral vision so much looking for that steal. He's anticipating to jump in front of that pass and shoot down the court. It's like he's never really looking at the ball, but he's kind of looking off, trying to bait the guy into making that pass. And it's just, you can just see the skill level, and like his vision is just insane. I mean, it's impressive. A guy that hadn't played in a year, and now he's the guy that's inbounding the ball. Like he's the one that can see. I don't know. He's an impressive guy.
You know what Wayne Gretzky said? Like, they asked Wayne Gretzky one time.
Michael Scott or Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah. They asked Gretzky one time, like, how'd you do it? Like, you weren't the fastest, you weren't the biggest, you didn't have the hardest shot. Like, how'd you do it? And he said that he just went to where the puck was going to be. He said, I didn't go to where it was. I said, I went to where it was going to be.
There we go.
But that sounds a lot like what you're talking about with Curbelo.
Yeah.
And most of the great players, I think, just not so much reactionary as it is you kind of create the reaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So the final score again tonight, Golden Eagles win 79-73 to go to 1-1 in the Sun Belt and even out that overall record at 7-7.
8-7 now, I think. Right? I don't think it updates after. Oh no, you're right. 1-1 in conference. Yeah, 7-7.
Yeah. So that's a good start, kind of. I tell you what, it couldn't have been a worse start.
Right.
And then we've seemed to have turned a corner here. So, but again, everybody, huge game coming up Saturday. What time is that game Saturday? Is it 2 p.m.?
2:00. Yep.
Okay, 2:00. Tell your family, tell your friends, bring your checkbook because beers are $10 now, and get everybody that you know to be there. We're gonna be there. Probably roll in about 1:30, 1:40, somewhere in there.
Love it.
I'm looking forward to that as well. Tell you what, while some other comments are coming in, and just go ahead and react to whatever you want to react to. I would like to hear your thoughts on what we would like to see out of the lineup for the remainder of the year. And what's your starting five, right? What's your starting five? Who's your guys off the bench? Do you want to see more Jeff Armstrong? Do you want to see more Benitez? Harry? And if you do, who are you taking out? That's another thing. I would like to see more of both of those guys that I just mentioned. I would like to see Benitez a little bit more. I would like to see Jeff Armstrong. But are you going to take DI out more? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to take – I want to see more Kobe. Kobe's getting in there a lot. I want to see more Kobe, but, you got to have Iwaku in there a lot. I think he's cementing the fact that he has to be one of our guys that if we're going to make a run at that 20, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, that Iwaku is a huge part of it. So yeah, we have equal pieces. Curbelo, I think the three that have to take us to the finish line, if you're gonna nail it down to three, or I think Crow, Curbelo, and Iwaku. And don't get me wrong, I mean, DI is still my favorite player on the team. I think Kobe's the best shooter on the team. And those are, but I think they need to be, cogs in the wheel, not necessarily the wheel.
Yep. This is a good comment from Benji. If Avery and Montgomery can get going, the D starts creating more opportunities to score. This team can compete for the conference title again. SBC is tough.
No, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's and Ivory doesn't. He needs to get healthy to start with.
Yeah.
And when Donovan gets hot, there's nobody that can hang with him, right? He's one of the best shooters, not only in the league but probably in the country. It's just he's moving a little slow right now, and he's going to get, but he's gutting it out, and we're going to have him down the stretch. But yeah, in Montgomery, boy, remember he looked a little lost at the beginning of the year. I'm not seeing a whole lot of that anymore. He's starting to figure out that he's awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, he instantly came in and started making those kind of back cuts. And then, I mean, you have Curbelo that drives down, and then he just, no telling where he's going with the ball. But they seem to really gel, and I love to see it. I mean, again, I think it's a good problem to have. Who you're going to take out if these other people play, but I think we're starting to see a little bit more, on the defensive side, and that was one thing that Curbelo said too in the post game is he's like, we've had to make adjustments. Obviously, what we were doing was not working. We're making adjustments, getting better at that, and he's like, a lot of teams probably will have an easy couple of days playing again Saturday, but he's like, we're going to get after it and we're going to compete in practice, and I know that's the truth.
You could definitely tell that there is a concerted effort to get out to the 3-point line quicker.
Yeah.
Not slow to react.
Hands up. Yep.
And this team shot a lot of them too. It seems like how many 3-pointers did Georgia State? It seems like every time they turned up. Of course, they took it to the hole quite a bit too.
Yeah, they were 6 of 24.
And it's concerning how easy they got to the hole a lot of those times.
Yeah, they were really fast, and at times they were out of control. It seemed like
Georgia State. And we talked about it while we were at the game. At Georgia State, if they were better, it sounds dumb to say, but if they were better players, that system that they run offensively is super fun to watch.
Oh
it
yeah.
can get you in trouble with how quickly they take shots. But it's really fun to watch, man.
Yeah, there was that one inbound where we made a basket. That guy, they kicked it in, hit it at midcourt, and they kicked it to the guy at the corner. Guy hit the three. They literally scored in 3 seconds.
Right.
That's why I was so nervous at the end of the game. I'm thinking this team can score. If they were making the threes and the free throws for that matter at the beginning of the game, it would have been a whole different ballgame. And it seems like the last 2 games, that's the way it's been. They've literally shot the cover off the ball. They just couldn't make it fall tonight. And you know, whether that's a credit to our defense or just we bent the rims and read green, I don't know. But you know, it was a super fast pace and a little out of control at times, but definitely fun to watch.
Hattiesburg Hippie has chimed in and says, hopefully the refs aren't Reggie Saturday. So I guess that ref's name was Reggie. I think I know who he's talking about.
Yeah. I guess.
So, and is it going to be? I've watched so many games. I've watched so many games.
This is a good comment right here.
Okay, well, hold on, just 1 second. I want to talk about this ref thing for a second because the ref thing it's always so bad. It's just always bad. I don't know how much referees get paid, but it doesn't matter if you're good at your job or not.
They get paid a lot, but they also have to cover their expenses as far as travel. I think that's how it goes.
Well, it was the weakest. I mean, it seems like a lot, and I think we've made this point. I don't know if it's on the pod or just talking, but our team this year, we won a little bit. You know,
yeah.
And I can say that because, and I'm not trying to say it in a bad way, because I won. You know, and I'm a fan. But even when I'm not a fan, like when I'm coaching my son's teams, he's 7 years old. I got thrown out of a little league game from the stands. All right, I won. I got a yellow card as a coach on a soccer field as a coach. So when I say that we won a lot, I feel like I can say that because I know what whining looks like.
Yep.
Well, the referees just continue to give us away. This is probably the second or third game where I thought the referees nearly just completely lost control of it.
It's two of the worst, two of the worst calls I've seen in
the technical on Donovan Ivory. I still don't understand it. He caught it very near the end line. A rebound, like a carom towards him. He was standing, I think, like right on the out of bounds line. So I think he just wanted to pat it back in real quick, and maybe they didn't see that he was standing out of bounds. He wasn't aggressive. And there was a really quick, I mean, before the ball even hit the ground, the tee was already, fired up by the ref. So when that happens and you just stir the pot from the get-go, later on, and then it happened again where there was a technical, there was a foul called, and then a technical on whoever was guarding Hart.
Yep.
And then immediately followed by a technical, I believe, on Ladner. Ladner and Curbelo were standing there. So then all of a sudden, there was just a canceled out technical situation with them just shooting free throws, and nobody knows what's going on. So, but yeah, the refs, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know. Maybe that one guy is that bad, but I don't remember a game that I didn't leave this year where I wasn't thinking to myself, what the hell were those guys doing out there?
It was awful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, going back to talking about Georgia State. Oh, I just want to say the wrong one. Georgia State. Deshaun chimed in and said they put up 92 against Arkansas State, their previous game. So we really did slow them down as fast as they wanted to move. They were not able to do that tonight. So
92.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Well, I mean, but hey, if I wonder where was that game? Do you know? Was that game at home or at Arkansas State?
It was at home.
I think, I mean, I could see that happening. They're so fast, and they shoot so often that they've got the green light. If they didn't do that, they might win some more.
Yeah, I mean, most of their wins,
honestly,
they've had 88, 93, 122 against, I don't even know who that is, 91. Yeah, they can score 89. They scored 89 and 87 and lost. first game of the year. So yeah, I don't know, but man, this James Madison game is going to be something. I really wish we had students and band and all those things.
Tell you what, real quick, I'm going to go through just a couple of the women's games from last week just very quickly. While I'm doing that, can you bring up James Madison's stats, and we will go over these games very quick, and then we will hit everybody with what to look forward to, players to look out for James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're looking that up, just real quick, women's basketball lost 5 in a row now, right? Started off the year 7-0. Pilo and I went to the Ole Miss game, and since then they hadn't won a single one. So
yeah, it's our fault.
I think we have to take some of the blame there. Last week, lost to Marshall 87-72, lost to Coastal 88-71. Dom Davis has been doing her thing. She had 29 versus Marshall, Grayson 15, Bracy 10. Just could not get it done. Outside of those 3 players, the rest of the team combined for only 18 points total, whereas Marshall had 4 players score in double figures, which is kind of what the Lady Eagles normally do. Southern Miss dominated in the paint, but Marshall hit a bunch of threes. That sounds a lot like the men's games, right?
Yep.
Southern Miss did not hit a lot. So Marshall goes 13 of 29. I mean, look at that. 54-32 in the paint for Southern Miss. That's like in football, like controlling the line of scrimmage, right?
Right.
But when the other team like hits a whole bunch of home run balls, right? It's hard to do. So Marshall goes 13 of 29 from 3-point range. Southern Miss just 1 of 12. And that was the tail of the tape right there. The next game that the Lady Eagles played, they lost 88-71. They had a really slow start, down 29-14 after quarter number 1. And it was a really close game from there on out, but just too big of a deficit to overcome with that slow of a start. Dom Davis did her thing again, 21-8. Bracy 12, Grayson 11. Did better from 3-point range this game, went 7 of 19 from 3-point range. And Coastal didn't do much better, 8 for 19. Points in the paint, though. So the last game we dominated in the paint. So the next game we get better at 3-point shooting, but we get outscored in the paint 42-30. So, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't there. Hopefully the ladies can get it going soon. Next up for them, Old Dominion in Norfolk on January the 6th at noon. And then James Madison on January the 11th back in Hattiesburg at 6 p.m. And before we get to what the men did last, do you have those stats for James Madison?
I do. So looking at some stats here, they are led by Terrence Edwards, a guard. He averages 17.2 a game. Right behind him, TJ Bickerstaff, a forward, averaging 16 points a game. Michael Green the third, another guard, averaging 11.2, and Noah Fielder, another guard, shooting or averaging 10.9. So that adds up to, let me get to, let's see here. I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. So points per game, they are averaging 91.8 points per game. They are rebounding 40 rebounds a game, which is tied for 68. That 91.8 is fourth, I'm assuming, in the country in points per game. So they can score. They're allowing 72 points per game, so they're winning games by 20. Not to mention they're undefeated. And averaging 17.5 assists per game, which is 34th in the country. So pretty good, I would have to say.
Well, we would have to hope that, we're catching them on the tail end of a roadie, right?
Yep.
And I am looking at, versus the Raging Cajuns tonight, 68-61. So, they're averaging all these points.
Yep.
I think we have a pretty good idea of what the Raging Cajuns are going to look like when we play them. And for them to hold James Madison to just 68, That's pretty good. So if I'm Ladner and Cardona, I think I'm pulling out that tape right now, seeing what they did defensively to kind of limit James Madison. And even though they are coming in hot and feeling pretty good about themselves, there's not like an airport between here and Lafayette, right? So they've been on the road quite a bit. We've been on the road, and we saw the way that our guys reacted. Do we think James Madison is going to go undefeated? Probably not. It would go a whole lot this weekend for our chances if we could beat them. You talk about making a statement, that's kind of the most Southern Miss statement ever, right? You lose to an 0-12 team, and then you beat an undefeated team within 7 days of each other. Southern Miss has made a history out of doing that kind of stuff. So,
it's kind of how we roll.
But yeah, so I guess look out for those guys and hope that they come in a little weary, and hope that we're just getting a little better day by day. As far as the men's game, before tonight, obviously we were 6-7, 0-1 in the conference. Now we are 7-7, 1-1. We played 2 games before that, lost to Ole Miss and Biloxi, and lost to Georgia Southern, which we've talked about already, to open Sun Belt Conference play. The Ole Miss game started super slow, down a whole bunch early, kind of like that women's game we talked about. We were down 47-30 at the half. That is not Southern Miss basketball. Second half, we actually tied Ole Miss. Went 42-42 for the second half, but down 17 to start with. That there's just too much to overcome. Ole Miss remains undefeated. I'm not positive if they played tonight or not, but Ole Miss is pretty good. Individually in that game, you talked about Hart earlier. We need some more numbers like this out of Hart. He had 13 points, 11 rebounds. Owaku, 13 points. Kobe Montgomery had 15, went 3 of 5 from three-point range, and Curbelo 13. One person that I did not mention right there is Austin Crowley. We need more nights like tonight, where he's super efficient from the field. And also, Ole Miss just shot lights out. 55% from the field, 58% from three, 71% from the line. It's not like Southern Miss did that bad. We shot 48% from the field, 47% from three, and 85% from the line. But we just got behind so quick that and the difference really was the points off turnovers. Ole Miss had 26 points off of turnovers. We had 9. So 16 turnovers for Southern Miss is just way too many. And that's how that game went. Then the Georgia Southern game, we'd all like to forget it, but they were 0-12. They beat us by 21. Kind of embarrassing. Gave up 88 points. That's too many. The fourth time that we gave up that many points this year. But, we did see some flashes out of Curbelo. He had 18.7 rebounds. And then tonight, of course, he follows that up with a triple-double. Crow got going a little bit during that game, 15 points. Ivory had 10. Southern Miss was just 14 of 24 from the free throw line. That would have got us a little bit closer, but only shooting 38% from the field, 58% from the line. That's just not going to get it done in any game, whereas Georgia Southern shot just lights out, 58% from the field, 52% from three. So hopefully we have fixed that, and maybe it was just as easy as coming back home to Reed Green Coliseum. I'm not sure. But Pilo, you want to go ahead and is there a couple comments?
Yeah, we got a couple.
I see Phil Scott
again.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And Phil Scott has chimed in as well.
Yep.
Phil, you had that baby yet?
Not yet. I don't know. Brewskis needs to do free cover. I agree. I think they should do that for every Thursday night game throughout the season. Students, if you come to the game, free cover at Brewskis that night. Or Friday, whatever. I don't know how that goes. Free night for that weekend. I don't care, but yeah. I don't know who is Hattiesburg hippie, but it's funny. Yeah. Good friend Phil. TV loves us. Yeah, I was getting text messages the whole game. Apparently, when you look this good, the TV likes to point cameras towards you. So sorry,
you're losing all that weight.
Yeah, they're like, look at this guy. Look at last year. He was
this year your last year pick, and then this year pick.
God, I hope not. Yeah. Phil, hope everything goes great for you guys tomorrow. Another Golden Eagle will be welcomed into the world.
Phil, we're gonna need to know if that baby has happened yet. We can announce it to the world live.
Yeah, give me a comment, Phil. Let us know. We'll stay live until the baby's born.
Yeah, just Tell your wife to hurry up.
Yeah, for real.
You got to work tomorrow.
Hey, Harper was born. My daughter was born. Let's see, her birthday is a week from today, and she was actually born on the national championship. But we didn't have her till like 11 something. So the game was literally over. All the festivities, all the interviews, still going. Like had it up, and I think it was that year when we like Alabama and Clemson played like 3 years in a row for national championships. It was one of those games, but I always remember watching that. But yeah,
You know, we've done something like this before on the pod where I think it was a baseball game that was ending. It could have been basketball. I want to say it was baseball. I think it may have just been me and Shane. And we were trying to time it, you know, to where we would end the podcast right about the time that the game ended. And they went to like extra innings or overtime or something.
of course. It's like the good
Yes,
double
though.
header. The first game's going to go, 11 innings, 12 innings.
Right.
Anytime you have that double header.
Yeah. But anyway, hey man, team's looking better. You know, this would be. I was hesitant to post that we were going to go live. Not that we're not going to pick and choose when we go live, just based on if we win the game or not. But I'm sure it would be a whole lot worse if we'd have just started 0-2, coming on the heels of that loss to the. I was about to say undefeated, but what's the other word? If you're not undefeated, if you're like
winless.
only defeated, winless. There it is.
There we go.
Uber defeated. Yeah, if we'd have lost tonight on the heels of that, and then we had to come on, it would be we'd have been done 20 minutes ago. Would have had 0 comments. So
Yeah, no, I mean,
but I see my wife chimed in again earlier. I'll throw that back up. Proud wife moments. Well, I do what I can, sweetheart. I got home today, did some plumbing work. I can plumb.
yeah.
Thanks, YouTube.
Plumbing in dry January. Wow.
I know what's going on. What's going to happen to my image?
I don't
Drinking
know.
water.
I don't know.
And I guess Phil's just not going to chime in with that baby thing. So
Yeah, he must be
yeah. So if anybody else has any comments about the game that they want to talk about, you can go ahead and get to it real quick. I will piddle around while.
How about we hit a 30-second break? 30-second break, just because, why not? No? Yes?
Hit it. I'm good.
Hit it. All right, we're going to hit it. We're going to take a 30-second break.
Back
Let's
in 30.
do it. Hey, for the record, that really, I love that. I really do that because it's exciting, and our viewers went up 5 during that 30-second break. Just for the record, so they may not like us speaking; they may just want to hear them.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
a bit.
I love it. Phil, come on, give us an update. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. Blake Bradley, plumber Jason.
Yep, that's me. Plumber. Jake Plumber. Okay. So I don't think that Phil's gonna drop the ball here.
Yeah.
Jeremy Burke says, "Is there a
Let me look.
is there is shirt giveaway?"
Is a shirt. I know what you're saying. Are they giving out shirts? Let's see what I can find out.
Okay.
Something needs to be given away.
Eagle Ball has chimed in. I agree. The marketing team needs to step up this weekend. Need some giveaways or something. Dollar hot dog night. We've had those.
Yeah.
The infamous donut burger.
Donut
Did
bacon
everybody
cheeseburger.
everybody? I don't know if that's on your diet, Bilo.
No,
You know what?
definitely not.
If since I'm having to go through this dry January, if they did have donut burger night, I did about 3 of those bad boys.
You would?
I loved it. I got it the first time as a joke. I just wanted to take a picture of it and maybe take a bite and react to it. It was fantastic. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. But it's kind of like, okay, so one time I go to Mugshots and I'm looking at the peanut butter burger, and I think I've probably told this story before, but
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at the menu and I see peanut butter burger. And so I asked the waiter, I was like, hey man, is this peanut butter burger pretty good? And he goes, do you like peanut butter? I said, yeah. He said, do you like burgers? I said, I do. He goes, you're going to love it.
You know,
That's the way I feel about this donut thing, though. I love donuts and I love burgers. And it was fantastic.
First time I
bacon on it too. Was there bacon on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bacon. Yeah.
Yeah. Donut, bacon, cheeseburger.
Oh yeah.
Incredible.
I remember making the graphics for those things. Yeah. First time I ever had that burger from Mugshots was a golf tournament at Canebrake. They had like a little table set up on one of the holes, and they had like a burger like sliced up with like toothpicks, and they're like, "This is a peanut butter burger," and I was like, "What?" Yeah, and it was awesome. Like it was great.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on
Phil.
Well, I was looking for promotions. I don't know where to look these days. Let me look at the main account.
All right. Well, Jeremy Burke has chimed back in. He says, if so, because he mentioned earlier that there's a shirt giveaway at Saturday's game, and he said, if so, is that a good Valentine's gift from a wife? The shirt that they're going to throw up in the stands, or that you're going to get? No, it's a terrible gift for Valentine's Day.
I mean,
I would not go that route at all.
No.
That's a very bad idea, Jeremy. You got to go. So here's what you got to do on Valentine's. You got to go flowers. Everybody's got to go flowers. And after that, for us, it's just a meal somewhere. Just us. Right?
Yeah, we've never really been big Valentine's because our anniversary is the 30th of January. So we'd rather, I don't know. I think what they upcharge for flowers is out of control too. But yeah, definitely a good meal somewhere. A lot of times though, that's me cooking. It just depends. Like a good steak. I'd rather cook a good steak than spend $50 on one somewhere.
Yep. Let's see what else is going on. I don't think anything else is going on. Phil's not going to get back with us, so let's go ahead. If you're ready, I'm ready. We can go ahead and do some shout outs and shut this puppy down.
Yeah, we can.
I before we get to that, I would like to remind everybody that the To The Top Collective.com is somewhere where you can go and you can give any way that you want to. That is a very big deal. We're sitting great, right? With our collective efforts, we're somehow like leading. We're near the top of all the Sunbelt schools. So very important. It is what it is, no matter what you think about it. You're not going anywhere. We aren't putting the toothpaste back in the tube anytime soon. So the To The Top Collective is a very big deal. And I would also like to remind everybody, no matter if you're watching right now on Facebook or Twitter or the YouTube channel, if you could, please just go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Even if you're never going to log on and watch it over there, it will help us eventually. If we ever get up to that number, I don't think we're ever going to go out there and just and go crazy hoping people sign up. But
yep,
we got it. It doesn't cost you nothing. Wasn't that from a movie, Animal House? It don't cost you nothing. So if you could go and subscribe over there, that would be great. And if you go ahead,
one more comment popped in. Ted said, everywhere it's also so packed on Valentine's Day. I agree. Definitely go the steak route at the house.
One place that we've never done this, but we have talked about it, not as a joke, is Waffle House.
I love a good Waffle House.
You can book. If I'm not mistaken, you can reserve a table
Oh yeah. I think they'll put a rose on the table too.
and
Pretty sure.
candlelight, maybe.
Yeah. I love Waffle House. All right, go to Waffle House order. Take it away. What do you get?
You know, I'm an all-star special kind of guy,
Okay.
but
What kind of waffle?
Katie does some kind of melt. And it's fantastic. Steak melt. Or, I don't know.
Is it Texas cheesesteak?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
It might be the best thing on the menu.
It is. I mean,
just all-star special is just the best deal. So I go deal, and I know I'm not going to leave there hungry. And then I always have a bite of hers, and I'm like, man, I wish I could bring myself to go that route.
Oh, they have that in a bowl now. You can get like like the all-star, or not the all-star, like the Texas cheesesteak on like hash browns in a bowl. Like they cut it up with onions and
ooh. So Jeremy is chiming back in.
Oh, there we go.
With now this is a great idea, Jeremy. What about a to the top talk shirt for a Valentine's Day gift?
Hey, there's some good ones. There's a couple in there that
there's a G-spot shirt.
There
and on Valentine's Day, trying to get nice.
I don't know where you were going there. Hey, there's I agree. If she's not looking for the G-spot shirt,
so glad I'm not drinking.
I would go with the Hattiesburg or the Pete Taylor Park Magic is a good one, or getting ready for some baseball season. And again, I'm slacking. I haven't posted that new shirt that we were talking about. So yeah, that's happening. So my go-to, we're going to circle back, Waffle House, is that Texas bacon cheesesteak with that. It used to be, this tells you why I'm on a diet now, a double order of hash browns, scattered, smothered, covered, is the way to go. Double covered, 2 pieces of cheese. Man. And I live like half a mile from Waffle House, so it's great.
Okay, do you have any shout outs, P?
Ted's laughing at us. I agree. We might have to put the ratings on this if we keep following that train of thought. Yes. So shout out, like I said earlier, Harry Golf. We had a good time. It was hopping at Fuzzy's before the game. We ended up sitting at like the surfboard table, whatever that is, the long table over there, because the bar was packed, and I had a couple tacos. It was awesome. And also wanted to shout out, it was good to see John Smith. I didn't get to speak with him. I turned around at the end of the game to hike up there, and he had already headed out. So hey, did he get to speak to you, John? Looking forward to seeing you in the Roost a lot this season. And I think the other one, looking at what you had written down, I'll let you follow that. Yeah, that's it for me. Oh, right. And Dr. Royals, T-Row. It was good to see him. He
with the whole wife's family there.
Yeah.
Courtside.
Awesome. Yep.
Sitting alongside Golden Eagle hit king, Trey Sutton.
That's right.
And his young son, Liam. Trey, you pointed out, Trey was like holding up his hands during the free throw.
Yeah. So I got to text you a picture. I took a picture of it as from our vantage point of you holding up his hands during a free throw, which was awesome.
So I will give a shout out to Aaron Hall, a good friend of the show. He's been traveling down to Florida a lot. So if you guys are the good vibe giving type, the Hall family could use some of those good vibes right about now. He's having to go down there with his wife's just they're trying to figure some stuff out, and she is stationed in Jacksonville right now. So Aaron's a good dude. He has given us tickets before, and he's a great Golden Eagle Circle of Champions guy. And they're going through a little bit, so keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Phil and Emily Scott, it's going down right now. I think that's why he hadn't said anything in a little while.
Yeah, it must be go time.
So there's going to be a new baby Scott at all of the Southern Miss events coming soon.
Michael Scott? Oh, please name him Michael.
I think it's a girl.
Michaela.
Michelle.
Michael is 2024. You can name Michael.
Yeah, we're not going down this road. No. Last one, and we're leaving. The Lee family, they sit with us. Layla and Robert were there tonight. Amanda and Tripp are out sick, so we will see them at the next game. And man, that is it. We get out of here while we still got that PG-13 rating, Ted. This episode brought to you by us and also by Katie Case Bailey, Realtor Extraordinaire. Any house, anywhere, anytime. 601-408-9980. Thank you so much for tuning in today and listening, whatever day you might have listened, and whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J Bailey and Patrick at P Lowry. Follow us all on Facebook and don't forget email.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss
to the top.
Talk.
I could play